Hey everybody, welcome back to Haywire Homestead. It's actually warmed up a little bit outside, which has just got me thinking of spring. So I am sitting here kind of munching on my breakfast, which is leftover grilled veggies and some bacon, but which is kind of a funny breakfast, but that's okay. I am sitting here with a piece of graph paper trying to plan out the garden. So let me show you what I have so far. Okay, our outdoor garden space is roughly 55, 60 feet across, and it's 80 feet to the raised bed section, which there's like a couple more right here. And one, I know we need to build another one right here. So basically this whole bottom is all different size raised beds. So I'm estimating about 2 feet per square. Graph paper kind of helps you do it to scale, which was my hope. And hopefully I did this right, because I didn't go out there and measure. I asked my husband what the measurements were because I knew he had measured it at some point. All right, so because we are market gardening and our green beans didn't do really well, I'm doing 5 long, over 50-foot rows of green beans. I'm gonna do 2 rows of hot peppers, 2 rows of zucchini and squash, and I made sure that I noted that they are going to be 6 to 8 inches apart because we are more densely planting our spaces. That's going to help with weed control, pollination, and just overall production and packing more in the space. So I want to pack as much as I can. With market gardening, I kind of need to. So these are the 3 that I've done so far. Now I'm trying to figure out what else is going to go in here. Remember, we also have our big high tunnel, so I've got to keep in mind what's going to go in the high tunnel. And then I'll do another diagram with that. Let's see if I can't finish this up. Alrighty, so far, like I said, we've got the green beans, we've got hot peppers, we've got the zucchini and yellow squash. There's gonna be 2 rows planted closely together. I'm gonna give us some kidney beans. This is gonna be for my Italian peppers, so probably at least 2 rows here. Then we're doing our trellised squashes down the long side of the garden. So we've got regular acorn, mashed potato squash, acorn squash, spaghetti squash, and I've got one more, I think it's called Celebrity. So that one's gonna go here. And those will be on cattle panels. So I'll plant 2 plants on each side. So there'll be a total of 4 plants growing up and over and filling the whole thing in. Hopefully we don't have too much trouble with the squash vine borer. This low raised bed is going to be cauliflower. We've got asparagus, sweet potatoes. These are my 2 really deep raised beds. So spaghetti, or the sweet potatoes will probably both go in here. I may do more sweet potatoes in this one because I've got a new variety of a white sweet potato. I picked up a couple of them at a farmer's market when we were out in Virginia at Front Royal for the Homesteaders of America conference. We stopped after we were doing some sightseeing, and we stopped and picked up some apples, and then I noticed these sweet potatoes, and they were a different variety than I've ever had. I've had white fleshed ones, but they usually have like a purple skin. These actually have a white skin. So I got a couple of them and I saved one so I can get slips, do slips off of it. So I think I'm gonna put that one there. Then we have our cabbage. We've got onions, 2 beds of onions. We'll have to see. I may wind up doing these 2 beds of onions, and I may put more onions up in here. And then broccoli. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to do the potatoes, because my other idea is to put the potatoes up by the high tunnel instead of having them down in this garden to give me more room for other things. And I haven't decided. I also have to have a big space for my cushaw squash, because they just grow like crazy. So I'm honestly thinking about maybe also putting those out by the high tunnel and just fix a spot for them because they're so prolific, and the fruit is so heavy it can't go on a trellis. So let's see here, and we can take a look at some of the seeds that we're going to be growing in the varieties. Let me pull out my bin. I spent yesterday sorting through all of my seeds. And this is pretty much the extent of my seed collection. Obviously, these are from the store. These are lima beans. My mom ordered a bunch. This is my Armenian cucumbers, which may go outside. This is my cushaw that I've saved. I got these at the grocery store on sale at a place called GFS, and they were on clearance. So I'm going to use these as seeds. I think I'm going to soak them or put them in with, like a damp paper towel and see if I can't get them to pop before I plant them, because last year we tried doing it and they didn't come up very well. These are not sealed. just so you know. I don't want to seal them up because I was worried about, you know, just closing them off to air. But we've got Copenhagen, we've got Napa from Idnai Gardener. I've got Brunswick, which there's a new one for me this year, and then we have some more Napa. So I just kind of have to decide which ones. And then we have a couple of different kinds of broccoli, and we also have cauliflower. Here's another broccoli. It's the Calabrese, which is a pretty common one. I've grown that one before. Oh, I forgot. I kind of want to try the artichokes. I don't know if I'm going to have room, but I'd really like to try the artichokes. So if anyone's ever grown artichokes and has any tips or tricks, because I've never done them before, please let me know. There's my asparagus. We're going to start those and put that in that one small bed because it is a perennial, which means it's going to need its own space to grow. Let's see. We have lots of different stuff in the onions. We have chives. I don't have luck growing chives. They don't like to germinate for me, but we're going to try. So we've got leeks, which I'm excited to try this year. That'll be something new. And then we have bunching onions. And then I have several different varieties of onions that I'm going to attempt to grow, start from seed. I've been looking at videos on how to do that. See, here's a bunching onion, which will be good for scallions. And then there's all my chives. So I'm gonna try to do onions from seeds. Then we have our carrots, which we're gonna augment their raised beds a little bit. And I'm gonna make sure that I water them because I think to get them to germinate, I don't water them enough. I do not go out there and mess with it. I just kind of let Mother Nature take care of it. And that's the reason why I don't have a good germination rate. I have lots of peas. I have lots and lots and lots of peas. Couple different varieties. There's Tom Thumb. There's a tendril pea. I kind of like to put those in there, but I don't know if I have enough room, because I'm worried that these won't be ready before I need to put other stuff in. So I have to kind of figure out how I'm going to do that, because growing up and even as an adult, I've done mostly just a summer garden. I've never done 3 seasons. We've done a few things here and there recently, like cabbage and cauliflower and broccoli. You know, and obviously the carrots start earlier. And I've done a little bit of lettuces, but I've not done, you know, to where I've done a big amount, like a big spring garden. So I'm kind of nervous about trying that. There's all my different lettuces. I've got Swiss chard and spinach and kale. I've got a lot of butterhead lettuce. So I'm hoping to get a lot of lettuces out, so I'll have something for us green-wise, because actually recently I've really been having a hard time finding spinach and any other greens at the grocery store. And, you know, I can't really grow it right now. Now, if I had kale last year, I probably would still have kale, but and I didn't actually grow any this past year. So I can't find greens at the grocery store. All right, we have beans. This is runner beans. I have heard that they're really good if you pick them young. They grow the plants grow quite large and have beautiful, beautiful blossoms on them. So they're really nice. I was talking with my friend Rose at Wholesome Roots, and she was telling me how they're absolutely gorgeous just as an ornamental plant. You can eat the pods themselves when they're really young, or you wait and harvest the beans. So I may just put these out for fun because we just got the seeds for free. But normally what I buy, or the ones that I grow for green beans, is the bush bean, which it's a green, it's a Kentucky blue bush. Then hot peppers, we're gonna have jalapenos, habaneros, let me think what else, poblanos. Okay, so let's see. These are, so I got most of my seeds come from either Haas, M.I. Gardner, or Baker Creek. I do have some from Mary's Seeds as well, which is an heirloom company. As you know, Baker Creek is a large heirloom seed company, so that's where most of my stuff comes from. I think I got this one at the store, and actually I used them last year and they grew quite well. So this is a Craig's Grande jalapenos. That should I'm hoping that produces some really nice big jalapeno popper sized tomatoes. I've never grown the Thai red chilies, so we may do those this year for something different. And see, this is Mary's Seeds, heirloom seeds. She has some really nice seeds as well. So that's the varieties or seed companies that I typically buy from. Now, the one thing that we are changing up, I have a lot of heirloom cucumber seeds. However, we had major issues with bacterial wilt and cucumber beetles, just even though we were trapping them because we don't use pesticides. So I do have some from Baker Creek Heirloom that we're going to be doing, but we also bought some from Haas Tools that are hybrids that are supposed to be more disease resistant. So this is a Stonewall, which is a good slicing one, and this is called Max Pack, which is a good pickling. So we're going to be trying those this year to see if that can help us out a little bit with the disease issues that we had this past year. Tomatoes. I have more varieties of tomatoes that I could ever hope to plant. So it's going to be kind of picking and choosing. We had a really good idea of what we liked growing last year, what we didn't like, what was the favorites at the markets. So my mom grew pineapple tomatoes last year. I'm going to grow them this year because people were looking for those really big, beautiful yellow orange tomatoes. This is a heirloom variety that a friend of mine sent me. I did grow it this past year. It's great in stir fries. It's called Fouque egg. I think I'm saying that right. It's a small globe tomato. It's a pink tomato. So I'll probably be growing that one again just for us. This is Purple Rain. This one was extremely popular last year. So, and I also got this from my friend. And I bought some more. I found some online and I was able to purchase a few more seeds to make sure I had plenty. And then this year I'm going to isolate and actually harvest seeds from them so I can just start saving my own seeds because that is one of my goals. Classic beefsteak, of course. This is a Bonnie's Best, which is a really good, nice round tomato. I'm excited about these because we do sell a lot of cherry tomatoes. These are super beautiful. And I'm hoping that just making really colorful baskets full of the cherry tomatoes, and here's the Chadwick cherry, you know, that people will really like it. We also did Cherokee Purple because the purple tomatoes are extremely popular. This one I just thought was gorgeous, and I can't wait to try it as well. There's more of the Chadwick cherry. I know I also have Amish paste in here. There's Early Girls. It is a non-GMO hybrid, so we don't do GMO. So I'm gonna try that one, and because that one should be ready a little bit earlier. There's my Amish paste. These ones came from Seeds for Generations, so that was another place that I ordered from in the past. There's my pink ox hearts. I love these. They get huge, and they were a lot of fun. We're not going to grow as many as we did last year, but I am going to still grow a few plants of these because they get ginormous, and people just really, they're very meaty, so a lot of people really liked those. This is our squash. There's everything from winter to summer squash in here. I don't want to make this video too long, and I am. And then we have pumpkins and gourds. I have no idea where I'm going to put pumpkins, or even if we are going to grow any pumpkins. So that is all of the seeds. I don't know where. I need a bigger garden. That's what I need. I need a bigger garden. But that's why it's so important to sit down and come up with a plan of how you want to lay it out, because you got to figure out where it's all going to fit in. You can't, and you don't have to do like straight rows. You don't have to only plant one thing in one area. You can totally mix and match. Look up, what plants grow well together. So like basil and tomatoes. Onions do really well with tomatoes. And there's a really good book called Carrots Love Tomatoes, I think, if I remember correctly. Let me see. I know I have it. And it is a great book to have reference for companion gardening. Let me see. This is my shelf. These are all my books. And I'm trying to see, most of these up here are preservation books, but that doesn't mean that it didn't get, or most of the ones up here are all of my cookbooks. And I'm trying to figure out, what did I do with that book? What did I do with it? Oh. Where is it? There it is. I'm sitting here staring right at it. Carrots Love Tomatoes, Secrets of Companion and Planting Successful Gardening. So I've got to go through that and reference it because I might be able to squish things. Another thing that I companion garden that I know does well together is radishes go really well with squash. So the radishes, mature relatively quickly. They have a pretty pretty quick maturity date. So you can put those around the base. Squash bugs don't really like radishes. So you just keep pulling and replant more. And it does help. I won't say it fends them off completely, but it definitely makes a difference. I don't even like radishes. So when I get seed packets of them, I get them really cheap. And, you know, I will put them in some salads and stuff, and I don't mind them pickled, but I'm just not really a big fan of radishes. But I will grow a few of them around my plants just to kind of help my squash plants out, because the squash bugs can just be horrible. I'm sure everybody else knows how horrible they are. All right, I'm not gonna drag this out any longer. I have made this video long enough. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I wanna wish everybody good luck in planning and starting your gardens. Take care.